Okay, guys, I want to clear up something. Urban Meyer kept saying that Nebraska ran a Bear 0 defense, which is, basically the old Bear defensive front was invented by Buddy Ryan with the Chicago Bears. He called it a 4-6, named after the number on the strong safety that was always playing an inside linebacker role in the defense. But whatever, so we'll call it a Bear defense. The original Bear defense had a specific alignment. No one really does that anymore, but what most people mean with the Bear defense is basically 8 in the box, press coverage, and if you say Bear 0, you're saying there's 0 safeties back there. The original Bear defense had a 1 deep safety, so that's cover 1. A Bear 0 would mean like no deep safety. So I didn't see any of this. And we're at the 12:49 mark of the second quarter, as you can see. And this is the first time I see a cover 0. Up until this point, what Nebraska was really playing was a 3-4 hybrid, where one of the outside linebackers was matched up on a receiver in the slot. So that linebacker was always, like playing a nickelback role. So it was like a 3-4 hybrid, but it almost looked like a 4-3 hybrid, with 3 down linemen and a rush linebacker. But whatever you want to call it, but like a 3-4 hybrid, there were usually 6 men in the box. The coverages were cover 1, cover 2, and I saw some quarters, and I think I might have saw a cover 3. And while there was a lot of press coverage by the cornerbacks, press coverage does not mean you're running a Bear defense. And certainly Bear 0 would be 0 safeties. And that I did not see until now. But as you can see, it's 3rd and 2. Ohio State's still in spread, and we'll talk about that later, but they're in the spread right now, but it's a tight spread. They got the guy in motion right here. I'm going to use a drumstick. This is old school, so I'm pointing with my drumstick. Here's the guy in motion, but you see there's 3 wide receivers. The tight end's right up here. Now, let's take a look at this defense again. The way it's set up right now, let's go like the old Buddy Ryan way. You would, first of all, the defensive line in the old Buddy Ryan way was slid to the weak side. So these 2 guys, the nose guard and the defensive end here, would be slid over, joining this defensive end. And then this guy would be, like in Buddy Ryan's day, would have been the defensive end, but you could just use him as a rush linebacker, that's fine. But you'd have to slide these guys down, cover all the gaps, cover all the players there, and then slide this guy who's not even the linebacker. That's the linebacker right there on the top, which is always the case in this defense of Nebraska. They always had one outside linebacker playing like a nickelback role. So this is actually a press coverage from, I think, one of the safeties. Anyway, so let's say we slide this guy down and we'll make up this guy's actually a linebacker instead of a safety. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. But you slide these 2 guys down and they're over the tight end. That was the old Buddy Ryan thing where he had two linebackers right there. And he could send all kinds of combinations of blitzes with this. But anyway, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys across, and then 1 middle linebacker. That was Singletary, or we'll say this guy is the middle linebacker, and a safety up. Like you'd have a strong safety up right there. And that was that guy 46, Doug Plank. And then this guy would play free safety, and he'd be way in the back. Well, not way in the back, but he'd be playing the free safety. And then the 2 cornerbacks would be press coverage, okay? That was the old Buddy Ryan thing. Nobody does it anymore. That's fine. And Urban Meyer's not going to be faulted for not being exact about the Buddy Ryan defense. It's fine. But the Bear defense today usually means 8 in the box, press coverage, and the 3 defensive linemen at least covering the nose tackle covering the center, one of the defensive ends covering the guard, and the other defensive end covering the guard. So you've got it all jammed up in the middle. And this wasn't the case either. Many times the nose tackle was on the center a lot, I will say that. But the defensive ends a lot of times were out on the tackles, like this guy is right now almost. And this is a 3rd and 2, so this isn't how it usually looked. You look throughout the rest of the game with Nebraska, and the more spread that Ohio State was doing and the wide open stuff, the guys were out on the tackle. It was like a normal 3-man front. It wasn't a Bear 3-man front. It wasn't covering the guards in the center. It wasn't jammed up in the middle. And there certainly wasn't 8 men in the box. So there was nothing about it except for the press coverage. And then calling it Bear 0, there was no 0 coverage until now. This is the first time. And you can actually see that you have 0 coverage. I mean, this safety is far up. So this is the first time at 12:49 mark that we see 0 coverage. Yet you have the cornerback playing back, so he's kind of playing it safe here, but it looks like he's still man. I think we have man across the board. A press coverage from the safety on the tight end, man on this cornerback, man on this cornerback. They're not pressing. This guy's up on, this other safety's up on the other guy. So the four guys, the four receivers are all covered man, and then probably one of the linebackers here has a man as a running back. So it's probably just a pure man coverage, partial press. You know, two guys pressing or one guy pressing. That's it. You know, this is the closest thing that they had to a bear, and it's still not even a bear. I would at least like to see this defensive end moved in more, or something like that. So I just want to make that point, and I'll come back with another video talking about the offense that we decided to run.